Welcome back, friends. My name is JP.
And I'm Ryland.
And we are Rainsford Photography. And on our channel, we are all about growing confidence for you, the wedding photographer. Now, today we are going to talk about something that some photographers love and some photographers cringe when they think about it, and that is
the bridal party.
The bridal party. So some people love this portion of the day, some people cringe at it. If you are in either camp, this video is for you.
That's right.
We are going to walk you through the heart, the skill, and then some poses and cues that you can do the next time you photograph a wedding.
That's right. Let's dive in. All right, friends, so we're going to start off with the heart behind the bridal party. And this is really important because the truth is that the bridal party, we tell this every time, makes or breaks the wedding day. If you have an awesome bridal party, you're guaranteed you're going to have an awesome wedding day. If you have a kind of a dud of a bridal party, it's going to be a tough time. So let's hope for the awesome bridal party.
Yes.
But if you have an awesome bridal party, you want to foster them no matter no matter what their personalities are like. Mm-hmm. And so the key thing about the bridal party photos is to just do it justice, but don't overdo it. So for us, that means a bridal party shouldn't take more than like 15 minutes.
Yes.
And that you should work through pretty quickly, and that you should knock them out, get it done, leave them with a great taste in their mouth, so that you're ready to go party with them on the dance floor. So, JP, you want to tell us what that looks like?
Okay, so like Ryland said, we don't want to overdo it. We don't want to make them feel like we are with them all day long, directing them and pulling them here and pulling them there. So when you go into the bridal portion of your day, make sure you go in with a plan. Mm-hmm. Make sure that you know exactly what you're going to do, how you're going to encourage them, and the flow of how you're going to do it. So what we like to do is first we ask the bride and the groom to list all of their bridal party's names. And a lot of brides will even give us the relationship with all their people. So that really helps us know that this is going to be comprised of your friends, your relatives, your roommates, all these kinds of people. So we're going in with a plan, knowing who's there. Then we are able to, when we show up, introduce ourselves, know their names, and establish the trust. So we've established trust with our bride and groom. Now we're establishing that trust with their bridal party. After that, we try really, really hard to call them by their names as we're going through each pose. And we'll go into the poses in a few minutes.
It really helps them focus.
But it's amazing because as you're like in control, right, of this time with the bridal party and you're calling them by name, it allows for them to know that you care, that you see them, and that you're engaged with them. So it not only makes that time a lot smoother, it makes them a lot more engaged and entrusting to you.
Totally. The second big part of the skill of this is going in with a plan, like JP said. And that really means having your flow planned out, but with some flexibility. So you won't be able to really know kind of like what the personality of the group is until you get there on the wedding day. Generally, our flow is do the formal photos, then do some more kind of like candid, natural photos, and then go into some like fun or silly or crazy photos. So that's kind of just like a natural progression of like emotion. But in each of those three categories, you need to kind of have like a broad range of options. So that if you show up and you have like a super energetic group, you can like skip through the formal and the natural stuff really fast and do like a bunch of exciting things.
Yes.
Or if you have more of a formal, like you typically older group, you can really focus on like the more formal, the more natural and candid photos, and then just really do like maybe a few kind of silly ones at the end. So yes, go in with a plan of like your flow, but go in with kind of a breadth of options so that you can kind of like adapt on the fly to the personality of your group.
Yes.
And then the third big part of prep is finding the right locations to do this.
So
location
important.
Scout beforehand, always location scout, and specifically find a place for the bridal party. Because typically this has to be a rather large space. If you have a large bridal party, it's really easy for this to go wrong just because of the location. So know your location ahead of time, and then like plan out what photos you're going to do in what progression in that location, but with that flexibility so you can adapt to the personality of your group.
Yes. Okay, the last thing before we move into how we do this, how we flow with our bride and groom and then with their bridal party, I really want to give you guys this pro tip. please be confident in how you direct your bridal party, because really we all know how it feels to show up on the wedding day and we're like, oh, there's the photographer and they're gonna pull us around and then we're gonna have to listen to them. And really the big thing here that we have learned is establishing that rapport, like Rylan said, calling them by their name, having a plan, and being confident will give you so much success. So I know it's really scary, but just practicing, even like at home the day before you go, just saying, like, running through your cues, getting all of those kind of like energies and wiggles out before you go will really help you. And when you get there that day, having that location in mind, knowing the names will give you so much confidence and give you the ability to help, direct, and give them the rapport and the confidence that they need in you as well.
Really, those first 3 things of prep are really just to get you to this point so that you can go through the entire bridal party with a lot of confidence, but also with a lot of clarity for your group. Like communicating constantly to your group. All right, guys, we're going to do this, and then we're going to spend about 5 minutes doing this, then we're going to spend about 5 minutes doing that over there. And giving them, like, setting the expectations and then communicating clearly and consistently throughout your time with the bridal party will leave them feeling like they were never lost. They always knew where they were supposed to be, what they were supposed to be doing. And that is what will leave the best taste in your bridal party's mouth.
Okay, so now let's go into the skill of how you're gonna direct your full bridal party. So this is the flow that we do with every single bridal party. We go from formal to casual to fun. So let's talk about the formal. This really for us is just lining up we put our bride and our groom in the center, and then we line up the bridesmaids on the bride side and then the groomsmen on the groom side. It's very, very formal. We have that like hands on your hips right here, bridesmaids, and then the groomsmen have their right over left over right, right over left.
It's the outside hand on top.
Thank you.
Whichever hand is toward the photographer.
There you go.
Okay.
So there's a pro tip for you. Whatever hand is on the outside, have them put over. And then that is your first formal one. And we take a bunch of those photos because we know that inevitably someone will be blinking. So take a lot of those photos.
Yeah.
After that, we like to do the next formal photo that we like to do is we like to mix every other one. So every other bridesmaid and groomsman. So we will go and tap on their shoulders and tell which bridesmaid and which groomsman to move to the other side. So then we have that nice formal photo of the bride and the groom in the middle, and then bridesmaid, groomsman, bridesmaid, groomsman, bridesmaid, groomsman, bridesmaid, groomsman, all the way down. And it makes for a really nice formal photo.
It does. It also really helps if you have like an imbalance of gender, like you have way more guys than girls or way more girls than guys. It makes it look a lot more symmetric, even though you may have far more of one gender than the other. Also, like JP mentioned, she taps people. That's a huge pro tip, rather than just saying, all right, I need half of you on one side and half of you on the other side, because then everybody's like, do I move? Should I stay? You know, like, so tapping people really helps.
Tapping people.
So then we go from those formal photos to some more candid, natural photos before we go into the fun ones. So some of our favorite candid ones to transition into, especially if you've done guy, girl like that, is to then, okay, you smiled at me. Now I want you guys to just look at each other and talk amongst yourselves. And so the bride and the groom will like turn towards each other and they'll like start laughing and talking, and you have like all the bridesmaids and groomsmen doing the same thing. And it's always like a really fun feel. It's like, hey man, we're just hanging out.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Very natural.
It feels very natural. And then from there, it's super easy to then transition into like a walking photo of the bride and groom. We have them go out like maybe a step or a half step in front of everybody else, and then everybody else just follows. Always looks really good, and it's really fun for the bride and groom. Right. And then we go into some of our fun photos.
Yeah, so the fun is what we always look forward to at the end, because they've gotten their wiggles out. They're really excited about us. Remember, we've established that trust and that rapport with them. So by this point, they're really like eager to listen and know what's coming next. And then we get to do the fun things. Yeah. So one of our favorite photos for fun is to have the bride and the groom stand still, and we let them know that they are about to get a big rushed group hug on them. So we put them a couple feet in front of the bridal party, and then we tell the bridal party, okay, please do not knock your bride and groom down. But when we say to go ahead and give them a big group hug. And this is always a great photo that the bride and the groom really cherish, because everyone's on top of each other and they're laughing and they're hugging, and it's just a great win all the way around.
And then the last fun photo that we love to do is going back to kind of like the line that we are in. Sometimes we'll do this before the group hug. We usually do that one last. But if we're in a line, then so we've done one walking, then we say, okay, this time I want you guys to dance towards me. So whatever that means for you, like however you like to
Your
dance.
interpretation.
Just dance towards me. And we usually like tell the bride to like pick up her train.
Yes.
And maybe stay a few feet in front of everybody else so that she doesn't get trampled. But this always looks so fun, and the bridal party has a great time, especially if they're like really excited about the dance floor later. This is just like whets their appetite, which so good. So those are some of our favorite formal, candid, natural, and fun photos that we like to do on every day in that progression. And again, the key points are don't overdo it, come in with a plan, know people's names so that you can establish rapport, and then like communicate clearly and effectively throughout your entire time with the bridal party so that they know exactly what they're supposed to be doing when, and they leave with a great taste in their mouth. And you will feel so great, and everybody will love you and the photos that you took of them as the bridal party.
That's right. So that's all we have for you today, friends. If you have any questions, please leave us a comment below. You can find us at Rainsford Photography on Instagram, and we will see you again
next time.
Have a great day. What do you call that?